Have you ever wondered where those vegetables come from on the dinner table? We learned it in kindergarten that farmers work very hard to grow food and vegetables, and they are living in farms where provide those agricultural products for us. The soil condition is the key to grow high-quality vegetable. Therefore, the fertilizer made from potash become the necessities for farmers. China consumes 10 million tons of potash annually. Half of the fertilizer supply were coming from Xinjiang Lop Nur. In Lop Nur, over 3,000 workers turn brines extracted from the salt lake into potash in a processing factory. After 15 consecutive working days, workers are returning to the base in Hami, 400 kilometers away, while other group of workers board the train in Hami to Lop Nur. There are dozens of processing factories in Lop Nur, but they are often dozen kilometers away from each other. These processing factories are being connected by a highway built by the Chinese government. The salt lake water are diverting to this rectangular pond for the potash evaporation process before going to the factory. Lop Nur, with a circumference of over 10,000 kilometers, it is the largest sulfate production base in the world. This magical place is based on the easternmost edge of the Takamala Desert, at the northern of China. Such an agricultural friendly place generates potash fertilizer that ensures the independent supply of potash in China. Chinese government wants to further increase the potash production in Lop Nur through employing more potash workers. But due to the terrible condition in Lop Nur, it is hard for governments to employ more workers. A habitable living area with better living condition that locates closer to the factory is necessary to attract workers. In this case, the plan of building the Lop Nur village is settled. This concept drawing is intended to show the landscape feature and existing activities happening in Lop Nur. Sandstorms and high temperature make Lop Nur a sea of death. There were many adventurers and scientists have lost their life in this place. At present, only a few desert plants and animals can live here. There are 7 towns nearby. The closest is Hami City, which is 1,000 kilometers away. Due to the special condition, Lop Nur is the largest nuclear testing site in the world. It was the site of China's first nuclear test. This region was once in a wet climate condition, but Lop Nur experienced a severe drought for 3,000 years. It is the remaining underground water that, rich in potassium, supports the potash mining industry. This highway is 300 kilometers long, which connects Lop Nur with Hami City, and it will have an annual capacity of 30 million tons of cargo. So how to build a city in such a place? Issue 1 is the transportation. Government first needs to build a new highway diverting from the existing one for the village residents. The second issue is the protection measures against the sandstorms and hot sun. I introduced this half-underground space, prevent people with the direct exposure to the extreme weather. Let's travel with this truck driver who heading to the Lop Nur village. Boxes of vegetables are being transported from Hami City to the Lop Nur village. The driver is one of the residents in the Lop Nur village. On his way home, he stopped at a gas station 8 kilometers away from home and took a rest. Now he is ready to get on the way again. The traffic sign here tells him that the village is only 500 meters away. He can meet his wife soon after putting these vegetables and foods into the warehouse. Here we enter the village. Due to the extreme weather here, residents like this truck driver can only purchase food from the nearest town, Hami. So markets that allow people to trade food and daily necessities become the key area that supports the village. The first and the second junction leads to the car parks on both sides. Vertical and horizontal circulations are also open to cyclists. Bicycle paths are on the side of the vehicle path that connects all the modules in the village. This parking space allows residents unpack the goods they purchased from the nearest town and take them to the market for trading or store in the warehouse. Market is located just on the side of the car parks. Market is always next to the warehouse. Two areas are being connected by an underground tunnel. Toilets are also located here. There is an outdoor playground on the left. The truck driver sees his son playing basketball on this playground. A few meters ahead are the half-indoor badminton courts. The staircases there are the natural sitting area for people. Finally, the truck driver arrives at his destination. This car park is the one that is closest to his warehouse and the market he visits most frequent. He needs to unpack all the vegetables and foods from the truck and take them to his warehouse. As the ultimate goal for the Chinese government to build the Lop Nur village is to provide a good living environment for potash mining workers and unite them with their family. But how can governments inform those potential workers? Here I present the website targeting the potential residents of Lop Nur village. The Lop Nur village is a worker town inhabited by local mining workers with the support of Chinese government. It will be inhabited under the Malan nuclear test base, also located in Lop Nur, seeking for healthcare and education resources. Residents in the village will be granted with free healthcare education support from the Malan nuclear base that's only 100 kilometers away. But in return, residents in the village need to open their market to scientists and soldiers from the Malan base. These two living areas in Lop Nur will be operating under a give and take relationship. The village is developed under a three-forces mechanism suggested by the Professor Lionel P. Sarias. They are the force of government, force of society, and force of the market. For the Lop Nur village, it is developed upon a startup capital provided by Chinese government and maintained by local society. Residents are self-sufficient with the trading activities happening inside the markets built for them. Overall, although Chinese government is the most important support of the Malan base and the Lop Nur village, but it is impossible for them to function without the cooperation between the communities living inside. If you have the interest to join us, please contact us through the email address shown in the contact page.